All right, welcome to your STE Interview Prep Masterclass. I'm putting on my senior backend engineer hat today to help you completely demystify star args and double star kwargs from absolute scratch. If you've ever looked at some Python backend code and felt totally intimidated by those little asterisks scattered everywhere, hey, you are in the exact right place. By the end of this explainer, you're going to be able to answer literally any interview question on this topic, just like a seasoned senior engineer.
So here is our game plan for this session. 1. The fixed argument problem. 2. Demystifying args. 3. Unlocking kwargs. 4. Combining rules. 5. Django applications. And finally, 6. The STE mock interview. Let's just jump right in.
Section 1. The fixed argument problem. Because, well, you really have to understand the problem before you can appreciate the solution.
Now this is the core issue every backend developer faces at some point. In the real world, you just can't always predict how much data a user or even another system is going to throw at your function. Data is messy, and honestly, requirements change constantly.
Normally, a function expects a very fixed number of arguments. If we write def add a b and return a plus b, we're strictly telling Python, hey, this function takes exactly 2 inputs, and calling add with 10 and 20 works perfectly. But the absolute second you pass a third argument, like add 10, 20, 30, your application immediately crashes with a type error. Rigid functions just break in dynamic environments.
Section 2. Demystifying args with analogies. To fix this rigid behavior, let's look at our first tool using a real-life scenario. Imagine you're organizing a daily team meeting. Some days, it's just Ram showing up. Other days, it's Ram and Sai. And on Fridays, Ram, Sai, John, and Mike are all there. You don't know beforehand how many people will attend. Instead of rigidly defining def, meeting person 1, person 2, person 3, which completely fails on a 4-person day, you just write def meeting star people. Boom. Now your room accepts anyone.
So, the crucial takeaway here is that star args steps in to seamlessly collect all those extra unnamed inputs. It allows a function to accept literally any number of positional arguments. And what does it actually do with them under the hood? It packs them all into a single organized tuple. If you pass 10, 20, and 30, the args variable literally becomes a tuple containing 10, 20, and 30.
This brilliantly illustrates the power of that tuple encode. We define def add star args. Inside, we initialize a total to 0. Then we just use a basic loop, for num in args. Because args is literally just a standard Python tuple behind the scenes, we can iterate over it, adding each number to our total. You can pass 2 numbers, or you could pass 200, and your function signature never has to change.
Section 3. Unlocking kwargs and dictionaries. Okay, let's build on that flexibility we just created. Think about saving a user profile in a database. We've all seen this. Some users are lazy and only give you a name and email. Overachievers might provide a name, email, phone number, city, and home address. You have no idea which fields will actually come through your API. To catch them all gracefully, you can define def create_user double star details.
This is where double star kwargs becomes absolutely essential. While star args handles your positional data, double star kwargs allows a function to accept any number of keyword arguments. It captures named inputs, those key value pairs like name equals Sai and age equals 25, and it packs them all neatly into a standard Python dictionary.
So how do we extract that data once it's all packed up? Well, since kwargs is literally just a Python dictionary, we can just use standard dictionary methods. By writing for key value in kwargs.items, you can loop right through and save every single piece of data the user passed in. Doesn't matter if it's 2 fields or 20.
Section 4. Combining arguments and rules. In professional backend development, you're honestly rarely going to use just one or the other. You'll almost always use both of these together.
To keep them straight in your head, just remember this simple comparison. A single asterisk gathers ordered positional inputs into a tuple. The double asterisk maps labeled keyword inputs into a dictionary. They're totally distinct concepts, but man, they work incredibly well in tandem to make your functions virtually bulletproof.
But beware this incredibly common pitfall that trips up junior devs all the time. Python enforces a very strict order rule. Standard positional arguments must come first, followed by star args, and finally ending with double star kwargs. Placing kwargs before args in your function signature will immediately throw a syntax error. Always remember, positional first, keywords last. No exceptions.
Section 5. Real-world Django applications. Now that we know the theory and the syntax, let's step into that senior engineer role and look at actual production code.
If you've ever worked with Django, you have absolutely seen this snippet. When overriding a model's save method, we define it with *args and *kwargs, and then just pass them directly up to super.save. Massive frameworks like Django or task queues like Celery use this exact pattern constantly under the hood to future-proof their code. If Django adds new parameters to the save method in a future release, your overridden method won't break at all. It just safely catches and passes along whatever it receives.
Experienced developers also use those asterisks in reverse. Instead of just gathering arguments inside a function definition, you can use them in a function call to unpack existing data structures. If you have a list of numbers, calling print with star and then a list of 10, 20, 30 unpacks the list and prints them as individual arguments. Similarly, the double asterisk will unpack an entire dictionary directly into keyword arguments for a function. It's an unbelievably powerful shorthand once you get the hang of it.
Section 6, the SDE mock interview. All right, it is hot seat time. Let's do a rapid-fire SDE mock interview to see how you handle these concepts under pressure. Imagine I'm your interviewer. Let's go.
So an interviewer is going to test your foundational knowledge by asking you to explain the underlying mechanics. They might lean in and say, I see you used *args here. Tell me, is args a reserved keyword in Python? Could you use a different name? And why exactly does it pack everything into a tuple rather than, say, a list?
Okay, here is your strong response. You look them in the eye and confidently clarify that args and kwargs are strictly naming conventions, absolutely not reserved keywords. The asterisks, the single star and double star, are what actually perform the magic. You can name them star numbers or double star details, and it works exactly the same. Furthermore, you explain that tuples are used because positional arguments require strict, immutable ordering.
Next up, they'll hit you with a scenario question. Where have you actually used these in your own real-world projects? When they ask this, confidently cite exactly what we discussed earlier. Say, I mainly use them when overriding Django model save methods, customizing serializers in Django REST framework, and writing utility functions to keep my backend APIs flexible when the number of parameters could vary.
Finally, they might just ask for a brief, high-level summary. Memorize this polished pitch right here. *args collects positional variables into a tuple, and *kwargs collects keyword arguments into a dictionary. They maintain flexible, reusable APIs. Honestly, that is exactly what a hiring manager wants to hear.
Now, if you give that perfect answer, the interviewer is definitely going to smile. But hey, don't relax just yet. Because Python decorators heavily rely on args and kwargs internally to wrap around other functions, this is exactly where the interviewer is going to pivot next. So stay curious, practice your unpacking, and I will see you in the next explainer where we tackle decorators.